Hello everyone, I'm Yazan Ibrahim, or as some of you might know me, Yazan Abu Ghosh. Today we're going to dive into a fascinating and essential topic from Chapter 5, Protection of Information Assets, Part A, Information Asset Security and Control 5.1, Information Asset Security Frameworks, Standards and Guidelines. If you are a seasoned auditor or just curious to understand how information systems into business environments, you've come to the right place. Let's begin. Introduction: Why information security matters. Let's start with a fundamental question. What makes an organization's information its most valuable asset? Picture sensitive customer data, financial records, and trade secrets, all flowing and stored digitally. Maintaining the confidentiality, integrity, and availability, commonly known as the CIA triad, of this data is not just about installing firewalls or buying antivirus software. It's a complex, multi-layered approach that bridges governance, management, policy enforcement, and human responsibility. This is where information security management enters the conversation. But here's the challenge. Organizations face relentless risks from evolving attackers who are ready to exploit the tiniest vulnerability. For anyone tasked with auditing, securing, or managing information assets, the stakes are high. A security gap doesn't just lead to financial loss. It can shake customer trust and cripple entire businesses. This video dives into the key elements of information asset security and control, from frameworks and methodologies all the way to ensuring employee accountability. In this journey, you'll uncover practical steps, robust standards, and actionable techniques to build a secure digital environment. The foundation: security frameworks, standards, and guidelines. Imagine an engineer designing a high-speed train but without safety regulations guiding the process. It would be chaos. Similarly, in the digital world, security requires structured frameworks and standards to ensure consistency and reliability. Take the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, PCI DSS, as an example. This industry benchmark lays out strict guidelines for any business handling payment card data. While compliance isn't enforced by law, meeting such standards bolsters trust and resilience, especially in sensitive sectors like finance and healthcare. Some industries, such as power and energy, take it further, mandating compliance to ensure public safety. But what exactly is a control framework? Think of it as a toolbox full of safeguards, financial loss prevention, value preservation, and mitigation practices, all aiming to protect an organization's critical assets. Choosing the right controls isn't about guesswork. Instead, it's a precise calculation based on risk assessment results, return on investment, ROI, and cost-benefit analyses. However, even a well-intentioned safeguard can backfire if improperly implemented. For instance, an ill-configured software patch may shut down critical systems instead of protecting them. Successful implementation involves more than technology. It requires clear procedures to execute controls, training programs for personnel who maintain them, assigning ownership to individuals responsible for monitoring their effectiveness. Bridging theory and practice, auditing the information security management framework. Let's shift gears and discuss something crucial: auditing. While it might sound like endless paperwork, auditing is your organization's magnifying glass. It ensures the gears of a secure environment keep turning. A key focus of any audit is the Information Security Management Framework, ISMF, which includes logical access, security testing techniques, and implementation of incident responses. But it's not all broad policies. One cornerstone of an audit is scrutinizing the policies and procedures that set the tone for security operations, answering questions like, when was the last update? Are roles and responsibilities clearly defined? Is this framework setting the right foundation for proper controls across data, systems, and personnel? And here's where people matter more than ever, because no matter how sophisticated your systems are, information security is powered by humans. The human element: security awareness through training and responsibilities. Security programs often fail not because someone disables antivirus or forgets to patch a server, but because employees don't fully understand the risks or their own responsibilities. Think of security awareness programs as the glue holding the system together. It starts as early as onboarding, with employees learning simple but critical actions like locking their screens, safeguarding passwords, and recognizing phishing scams. Companies that successfully weave ongoing training into newsletters, team meetings, or simulations create a culture that's proactive about security, not reactive. Even here, as an information systems IS auditor, your role is pivotal. Just by interviewing a random sample of employees, you can assess the program's reach and impact. Because let's be honest, if staff think security is just about locked doors and badges, the organization is far more vulnerable than it realizes. Ownership and accountability. Who's responsible? Here's a question worth pausing on. When something goes wrong, say customer data is leaked, who is responsible? It's easy to point fingers, but true accountability starts with well-defined roles. 1. Data owners are managers or directors who hold data responsibility throughout its lifecycle. Much like guardians, they authorize access and ensure proper controls are in place. 2. Data custodians are the technical team maintaining and safeguarding data, be it through backups, system administration, or patching vulnerabilities. 3. Security administrators focus on physical and logical safeguards, working within boundaries set by an overarching security policy. 4. IT users and data users, anyone interacting with the system, whether internal employees or third-party collaborators, have obligations to follow these policies. Through this structure, accountability is not just identified, it becomes enforceable. And enforcement isn't limited to data breaches. For instance, in termination scenarios, whether voluntary or not, an effective system must swiftly disable access to IT infrastructure to protect sensitive data moving forward. Think of it as closing the final chapter of an employee's journey without leaving any loose ends. Beyond individuals, security baselines and standards. There's a saying in technology, your baseline sets your ceiling. That's why organizations establish baseline security measures to combat everyday risks, while paving the way for more comprehensive defenses. For example, regular patching ensures vulnerabilities are addressed before attackers exploit them. Password guidelines enforce strong access control. Antivirus systems help counter evolving threats like zero-day attacks, where traditional solutions may fall short. With all baseline measures outlined and reinforced by organization-specific policies, systems grow robust while maintaining adaptability. Auditing in action, key evaluation questions. Every audit exercise for systems, baselines, or inventory should be guided by strategic questions. Consider this checklist. Are policies up to date and communicated well? Is confidential data adequately classified and protected? Are file backups easy to restore, stored off-site, and tested periodically? Does the enterprise run active scans for vulnerabilities and unauthorized access? Even the most well-defined policies lose value without constant evaluation. From software license tracking to retraining IT staff, regular audits create a cycle of oversight and improvement, concluding with actionable insights. At its core, information security is about trust, a quiet but steadfast assurance to employees, customers, and stakeholders that their data is safe. Achieving an effective balance between people, policies, and technology requires vigilance, cooperation, and clear accountability. In modern organizations, information security isn't just a technical problem, it's a cultural mindset, a strategy embedded at every level of governance and operations. By investing in the right training, frameworks, and controls, you won't just check compliance boxes, you'll build a resilient ecosystem ready for evolving challenges. Thank you for watching, and as always, continue learning, stay curious, and we'll see you next video.